EDT. Welcome back to my channel. Everyone is sick in this household, so bear with us while I try to film this video. I figured I wanted to show you my oldest perfumes. The oldest perfumes in my collection, not necessarily old perfumes, but perfumes that I've had the longest in my collection. So if you don't already know, I started buying perfumes heavily and also getting more immersed in the world of perfumes about a year ago, essentially around the lockdown. And so about 90% of my perfumes are from a year ago. So essentially 90% of my perfumes are under a year old. So I want to talk about perfumes that are older in my collection, and I'm going to start from perfumes that I purchased from 2 years and up. So everything I purchased from 2 years ago and before that, I'm going to talk about in this video. Some of them I remember what they smell like, some I kind of remember but not quite. Also, I can't really smell anything right now as well, so I can't smell and tell you what it smells like, unfortunately. So I have taken some notes from memory. So let's jump right into it. The newest one in my collection is going to be this one. This is Memo Paris Moroccan leather. This one I picked up in 2018, I believe. No, sorry. Yeah, 2018. This was a gift actually from my boyfriend. We went to Houston, and it was in Houston that I realized, okay, there's so many other perfumes that I don't know about, and they're out there, so I'm going to find them. That's when I started getting more intrigued about perfumes and just the different kinds that's out there other than what we normally see at the department stores. So I saw the House of Memo, gorgeous bottles, and Moroccan leather was the one that piqued my interest the most, because that same year I visited Morocco. So I think it might have been just the association of my love for Morocco after visiting and seeing this scent, smelling it. I was just fascinated. I didn't get it at the same time, but I took like a scent strip of it and she sprayed it on my arm, and I was just going nuts over it. We were visiting Houston. I wanted to go back and pick it up before we left the next day, but we weren't able to, and I did not stop talking about it. So Matthew eventually got this for me for my birthday, and I love this scent. I don't know how much I've used, but I've used quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure I'm up to here, maybe. Anyway, so let's talk about Moroccan leather. This is probably one that's very hit or miss in the fragrance community. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. We don't all like everything, but hey, this is just going to be my little baby, and I'm going to enjoy it on my own. So Moroccan leather is a green leather, okay? It's green, very herbal, aromatic, vetiver heavy, and very galbanum heavy. So just think about those things. There's a lot of green going on in here, and it reflects in that. This is the fragrance that got me really interested in leather fragrances. And it smells like walking into an authentic leather store. And in particular, this fragrance reminds me of a shop I went into when I visited Essaouira in Morocco. It was a carpet shop. He had some leather goods to sell as well, and he was also a musician, so we were all like hanging out in his like back room, just like playing drums and like he was singing, and gave us like all different instruments. I had the drum. A few friends that I just made had different like musical equipment to play around with, and we just jammed along. It was freaking cool. And his store smelled like that. So that's my association with the Moroccan leather. Also, my second favorite Memo fragrance is French leather, and French leather has a lot of similarities with Moroccan leather. However, it's more suede and more rose versus iris, because this has iris in it. I like to think of French leather as the younger sister to Moroccan leather. There's a lot of French connection with Morocco in general, so I kind of understand why there's that similarity, to say the least. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that when it comes to Memo and the house and how they curate their leather fragrances. But yeah, that is the first one. All right, I'm back. I had to go talk to a little noisemaker I have in the back. Next fragrance I'm going to talk about is this little bad boy right here. This is Tom Ford Champaca Absolute. I don't know if I mentioned, but Moroccan leather launched in 2018, I think. Maybe. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. Champaca Absolute is from 2009. Gosh, fucking focus, man. Okay. Champaca Absolute by Tom Ford. This one launched in 2009, and I picked this up in 2013. This is actually my second bottle of Champaca Absolute, and there we go. And first bottle's done. It's all gone. Luckily, I picked up 2 bottles from that time because I don't know anything about reformulations or where this is at right now. However, Champaca Absolute was my answer when everything smelled the same. I mean, I was, and then I wasn't like heavily invested in fragrances. I actually, let's not say that. I liked what I liked, but I wasn't finding what I liked. So I had to find things that didn't really smell like what I smelled everywhere, and this was one of them. So this was a very strange one, and honestly, again, I think I've said it before, I can't really smell anything right now, so I'm going to try to remember what this smells like. This is a heavy yellow floral scent with sweet, nutty touches to it. I remember when I first smelled this, and what I smelled was mostly spoiled wine. And when I think about spoiled wine, I like to think that they smell a lot sweeter than normal. So I got a lot of spoiled wine. Spoiled wine that also tastes delicious because it's sweeter, but I don't like sweet wine. However, this was kind of like the guilty pleasure kind of bad sweet wine. You know what I'm saying? But that's what that reminded me of. There's also this slight warm boozy feel to it, but it doesn't necessarily smell like a boozy scent. It smells mostly like mulled wine, like bad wine, like terrible sweet wine. No offense to people who like sweet wine. I'm sorry, but this is just me speaking, and I'm sure you say the same thing about like the wines that I like, which is like super dry red wines. Okay. Anyway, mulled wines, yellow florals, white florals. There's slightly indolic jasmine going on in here that doesn't stay around too long. And I can't really think of what this reminds me of because it doesn't really remind me of anything. So, however, if you like the notes of Champaca, if you like ylang ylang, If you like this weird, obscure type of dark berry-like sweetness, try this out. You may like it. I wouldn't tell you to buy it, but try it out because it's not, it's also not one that's, I wouldn't say this is mass appealing at all. It's very like here, not there. It's very polarizing, at least to me. That's what I like to think. Never mind, scratch that. Next perfume we are going to talk about is this one right here. This is from the House of Creed. Focus, goddammit. This is from the House of Creed, and this one is called Fantasia de Fleurs. And this one is called Fantasia de Fleurs. This one, man, let's make sure we're focused here. So Fantasia de Fleurs, I picked this up in 2011. And I tried to find like a dates like for this one. This is one of those long stories about Creed fragrances and just stories about different things and you know, investigations as to, you know, when the house came about and when the fragrances were made. It says this one was made in 1862. Oh, geez, honey, I have no idea. I don't know. But this was another fragrance that was my answer when I wanted to buy something that was, you know, not things I was smelling everywhere. Again, Creed actually came and got on my radar because at the time I was like really watching a lot of like beauty YouTubers like back in 2011. And everyone, like, whenever anyone was like, would show like their vanity or was on their vanity and like perfumes, everyone had like Creed Love in White or like the one in the pink bottle. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. And I was like, okay, I want a Creed fragrance. So I went to a counter and of course the lady saw me, a woman, and she was like, oh, here, this is the best-selling fragrance. She had Love in White in her hands. And I was like, I want that shit. Where's the rest of them? So we went sniffing on everything else, and this one was the one that stood out to me the most. What drew me to this was probably just the classic feel of it. The florals felt more classic to me. And yes, guaranteed, I smelled a lot of like floral scents everywhere. I think at the time I also had like a Dior, I forget which one, very floral, heavy rose scent. And I didn't really care for it, but this one smelled very different. It smelled classic to me. It's like your quintessential classic floral scent. It's a mix of rose, tuberose, iris. There's also ambergris here that gives it this airy feel, more aquatic, I would say. But it also gives it some depth as well. And I think that's what makes the fragrance very interesting to me. To be honest, it took me a while to get used to wearing this comfortably because I took it home, I wore it a few times, and I started getting like really self-conscious about wearing it. I don't know why or what that was about, but I didn't really enjoy it for a while. And then a few years later, I started really enjoying it. I don't know much about Creed fragrances, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like detached from the house. But what I do know is that apparently the Millésime line is something to do with like the special pick of the year as far as materials goes. I don't know anymore. I have no idea. But yeah, that's Creed Fantasia de Fleurs. I love this fragrance, and I smelled I actually smelled one recently because I thought that they stopped making it, but they actually still do. I don't know anyone who talks about this one. But I smelled it recently, and it smells about the same, I think. I may have to like try to get a sample of it just to compare. Is it worth trying to find an older bottle versus a current bottle? I would say no, because they just smell the same. Next fragrance we're going to talk about is this bad boy right here. This is Hanae Mori. Oh boy, this one, man. Look at, that's, I actually have a smaller bottle of the X-Straight. This is the Eau de Toilette bottle, and this was the first one that I got of this. So this was like one of the first few fragrances I purchased for myself, alongside things like Cashmere Mist and Insolence. And honestly, I don't remember what this smells like. I haven't even worn this in like over 5 years, maybe, probably even more. And I could tell you that it's a very, very sweet floral, fruity floral fragrance. It's been compared to a lot by with Cashmere by Chopard. It's a very sweet, fruity floral, and I can't, like, it's the kind of sweet that I remember this would give you diabetes, you know, like just smelling it alone. I'm not even kidding. However, I keep it around for a reason, and I'm not sure why. I keep it around for a reason, and I also got a bottle of the Parfum version last year. I think just as a reference, I guess. I don't know why, because I don't really wear it that much. It's not quite my style anymore. I asked Matthew to help me out, like to describe what this smells like, and he says it smells like a plastic bag. So I don't know what that means, but okay. That's all I have to say about this one. Sorry, that wasn't helpful. And the last one I'm going to talk about is our very lovely Guerlain Insolence. This is a special perfume to me. This is a special perfume to me, and I'll tell you the story about this one. It is I think this is an eau de parfum. That's an eau de toilette, and this is my 4th bottle. This is my 4th bottle of this fragrance. Yeah. So let's talk about how I came about this one. This is from Maurice ROUCEL, I believe, right? 2006. So 2006 was when I was transitioning from America to America. Transitioning from London. What am I talking about? 2006 was when I transitioned from Nigeria to America, okay? If you don't know, I'm a dual citizen. I'm Nigerian and I'm American. I have 2 passports. My mom was born and raised in London. My grandma lives there. My cousins, aunts, everyone, uncles, they all live in London. So during our transition, we wanted to go see them, say hello, like a short vacation. That was the plan for a month, but we ended up staying 6 months, because 6 months is the amount of time you can stay in England with your American passport before you have to leave. So visited for 6 months. My aunt in London, she lived in Greenwich, she just picked up a bottle of this perfume. And fun fact, this was in 2006. Guerlain Insolence launched in 2006. And I didn't even, like, I just started putting 2 and 2 together, like, a couple years ago. I was like, oh shit, this perfume launched around the same time I was visiting. So she wore the crap out of this perfume. She loved it. I associate this perfume with her And occasionally she would have like small little samples for us to wear. And I remember at the time, like, of course, we're kids, we couldn't afford anything. We would go to the stores in London and just like go to the perfume counter, and all I wanted to smell was Insolence by Guerlain. Beautiful fragrance. So when I came to America, so visited London, I think it was in July, and we left in January of 2000, I think, I don't know, whatever 6 months was. Yes, got there in July, we left in January of 2007 to America. The first perfume I bought for myself after I got my first job, and a couple paychecks to where I was like stable enough, I picked up a bottle of Insolence, and back then it came in this style. This was not the first bottle. The first bottle I actually had, I just recently threw away because it was like completely empty. So what happened was, after I had that, I didn't think about it. I wore it for a few years, and maybe a few years later, I was running low and I started looking for it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. None of the counters had it. I didn't know what was going on. So I just kind of like assumed that it was discontinued. So I freaked out and I stopped wearing it because I wanted to at least go back to the bottle and smell it. Until when I moved to Texas in 2016, a good friend of mine, I was talking to her about this perfume. She was like, wow, what's going on with this one? And I told her the story, and she was like, I'm gonna find you one. And she found me this bottle. I think she got it from MASSENET at the time. And back in 2016, this is how terrible I was. I always thought that those discount sites were fake. And she bought me this bottle, and I was like, something doesn't smell right with it. I was like, this is fake, Lauren. This is not real. Anyway, I was like, it smells similar enough for me to wear it. And I wore this for a while. So fast forward to 2019, my boyfriend and I went to Europe, went to England, and then went to Belgium. And we were in Ghent. We were just browsing, shopping around. And we stopped at I think it was a makeup store. We stopped at a makeup store, and we're like looking around. Matthew already knew the story about Insolence, and he saw this. He was the one who found this, and he was like, isn't that Insolence? And I was like, oh my God, what? All this time I thought it was discontinued. Apparently they just changed the freaking packaging to this damn B bottle, or whatever the hell they call it these days. So I bought this bottle in Belgium. And yeah, that's the story. This reminds me of a very popular fragrance by Chanel called Missia. I remember the first time I smelled Missia, this was exactly, I was like, whoa, it smells exactly like Insolence. So it has very similar notes actually. There's rose, there's also raspberry, there's violet, iris. I think there's like tonka bean in here. There's some resins, which I don't really get, but like vanilla is a heavy one. It smells like sugared, like violets, like sugar cube. If you, I don't know, if you think, is this like some kind of sugared candy, violet candy? I don't know, maybe there is. That's what this smells like. And I really enjoyed this heavily, probably because of the nostalgic effects, but also because I really, really enjoyed the perfume. So I have two of them. Usually I keep this in my car and this one at home. But I think I have something else in my car right now, so I just brought this one inside. So that's it, guys. Those are my oldest perfumes. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.